Okay. All right. So, and again, so you guys, if you've taken the class on CBWORKS before, some of this is going to be, very repetitive, but I'm going to pretend like we've never been in CBWORKS ever. So we're gonna go through it from A to Z and hit the highlights. We will be done in an hour and a half. So if you've got to leave early, don't worry about it. It won't bother me. We're videoing as always. So if you're a brand new user, for the most of you, your username is going to be your email address. Okay. If you're brand new to Coldwell Banker, you will get a john.smith@coldwellbanker.com email address. That is normally the username that they assign you. If you don't want to be john.smith@coldwellbanker.com and you want to keep your John Smith at johnsmith.com, then you can change your username, but you've got to go into your profile, and that's not what we're going to talk about here today, but you can have your username whatever you want. When I originally set myself up 9 years ago, I chose to keep my lance@pioneerrealestate.com email, that's why my user is, but the default will be first name dot last name @coldwellbanker.com. Okay? You'll get an automatic password assigned to you. I don't know if this one is right, so I'm going to change it. But invariably, for brand new users, they don't know what their password is. I have found, just like any other website, I forgot my login information, you click the button, it sends you an email, you go through it, it's a little bit of a pain, but if you follow the instructions, it'll reset your password for you. So once you've got it in right the first time, it should memorize it for you if you have your Windows settings properly. And with any luck, we're going to begin. So we're completely dependent upon our internet connection, so if our internet goes down, we can't do the class. Just as if you're at home, if your internet goes down, you can't do the class. So, or you can't get on Coldwell Banker Works. It's pretty much 100% web-based. Now, this is going to look a little different than maybe what you guys have seen. Okay, I am logged in at the broker manager level. So, for example, you will not have I don't believe, well, you probably have a manage, but you won't have a recruit and retain. Okay, we talked about that in the business planning class yesterday. One of my things is to recruit and retain. In theory, as an individual agent, you're not recruiting and retaining, so there's going to be a little bit of difference in what you're looking at. But generally, it should, more or less, the information should be the same. So it's going to give you, should have your company name on here. If you're not at Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate, you're a Town and Country or Realty Center, it should say Town and Country or Realty Center. So if you're working in one of those offices and it doesn't say that, you need to let us know. All of the offices are separated with the different DBAs. We're going to look at the Get Listing tab. We're going to look at the Sell Listings, the Promote, Manage My Business, Learn is the CBU. We're going to go through all of that. You should have your name here. If you're logged in as you, it should say who you are. I believe it will give you a picture of the office, or does it give you a picture of you?
You.
Okay. Of you individually? Mm-hmm. Okay. Your picture should be here. If you don't have your picture here, that means you probably also have a problem on your coldwellbanker.com profile. Okay? And even though we're not doing a class on coldwellbanker.com, let's go here real quick because these things do kind of tie in a little bit. Okay, this is the consumer side. So I'm now John Q. Consumer. Redlands just so happens to be up, so let's just go to, let's look for offices in the city of Redlands. Let's search. It should give us Coldwell Banker Realty Center. And, oops, I'm searching properties. Apologize. Let's go back, search offices in city of Redlands. Search. It should give us, there we are. There's our Realty Center office. I now want to find an agent. So let's click the office first. That'll take us to the office profile. I now want to find agents in that office. And Diane and John Speaker are the first agent that's going to populate as soon as our web page refreshes. There will be a picture of Diane and John because I've seen it before. And I'm going to assume that that is the same picture that shows up on Coldwell Banker, on CBWORKS. So if you don't have a picture that shows up on coldwellbanker.com and you don't have one here, we have a problem. Okay? So make sure you get that uploaded. This, I believe, will give, this is the office, so this is telling me that the office has 244 active listings. As an individual user, is it giving you guys this info? How many listings you have?
No.
It doesn't? Okay.
Well,
no?
we personally have it personally.
But if you're on your personal site. No, it doesn't give you the office site, but does it say Stephen has 2 listings or something like that? Okay. Now again, this is important as well, because where this information pulls from is ColdwellBanker.com. So if you have 10 listings, and this says you have 2 listings, what that's telling you is that there is a disconnect between ColdwellBanker.com and the MLS, which is probably means there's a disconnect between, and this is only listings, by the way, this isn't going to show up if you're mostly a buyer's agent and you're working on buyer's open escrows. That's not going to show up over here, okay? But again, if you have a lot of listings and they're not here, then you need to immediately come to the sales manager and say, hey, something's wrong, my listing, and you should do that, by the way. If we go back to ColdwellBanker.com, for example, and I'm looking at, for some reason I don't have a full list of the agents in Redlands. Let's see if I can get this to refresh. But if I'm John and Diane Speaker, and they know that they have 10 listings, and they go to ColdwellBanker.com, and they're searching their listings and there's only 3, there is a problem. Okay, and you guys need to test this stuff periodically. You need to go in, put yourself a marker on your calendar once a month, or at least 2, 3, 4 times a year, because what you think is working today, somehow this connection breaks, and then all of a sudden, 6 months go by, you don't even realize that your stuff isn't showing up right. Okay, this is telling me who my business consultant is. It's got some lead router stuff over here. Does it give you guys lead router on the individual agents? Does it tell you if you have lead router information on here? Okay, I probably should log in as one of you guys. Maybe we'll do that before we exit out to see what sort of similarities we have, because again, this is the broker manager site. Now, it also will give you some links down here. If you create a bunch of quick links that are important to you, okay? If you're in here a lot, and this is the problem with Coldwell Banker Works. Normally what will happen is you're a brand new agent to the company, you spend some time on here, and by the way, we're only going to spend an hour and a half in this class. You could spend, I think you literally could probably spend 3 days, 8 hours a day, going through here, clicking, pecking, downloading, loading all sorts of stuff. There's that much content here. There's a lot of stuff in here, okay? But if there's stuff that specifically you like, that you go to on a regular basis, maybe it's listing presentation or e-marketing or some sort of newsletter thing that you subscribe to, you can save your own little special links. Or if you're a big fan of the CBU site, you can have your link here, although there's 17 different ways to get to there, which is the case in all of these websites. There's literally at least 3, 4, 5 different ways to get to the same spot. So if you're used to seeing it and going to a different place, that's fine. So you've got your quick links, you've got actually my favorites, that's where you can put your stuff. And then your recently viewed or places that you've been. And I haven't done this class in a while, so I don't have any recently views, which really surprises me because I am in here enough that I would think there'd be something in there. Okay, so we're going to make this really simple. The news and announcements, that's just kind of what's the scroll page. I'm just going to quickly buzz through this. This is going to give you what's going on, okay? Most of these news and announcements should be sent to you guys in the form of an email on a fairly regular basis. So if you saw something on the new and improved lead router or the lead reporting, there would be a thing there. If you went to the iPad recruiting presentation, you can keep in mind, I'm logged in as a sales manager, there was a recruiting presentation that they said that's set up for the iPad. So, oh, I thought I saw an email on that come through last week. Here it is. Videos, navigate CBWORKS with ease. So anyway, so we've got, that's kind of where your news and presentation. Events is your convention. There's going to be some stuff in here about Gen Blue. Okay. Now again, we're getting emails on this all the time, but if you forgot or you needed to get a room, all the events are on here, and right now the only thing we've got pending is Gen Blue. My account, this again should be, I believe, I apologize, I should know this, you should be able to access your account as well, okay, and access your specific stuff. And we're at the mercy of our internet connection, so hopefully this will speed up a tad. Username, I want to change my password. that sort of type stuff. What else have we got down here? My contact email. How do you want to be contacted by Coldwell Banker Corporate? I want to be contacted at mylance@pioneerrealestate.com. I see a down arrow. I have a feeling, yes. If you don't know what your coldwellbanker.com email address is, well, there it is. Everybody has them. From a broker owner standpoint, I would love, and this is not a Coldwell Banker Works thing, this is just a business thing, I would love everybody to use firstname.lastname@coldwellbanker.com. Okay? I'd love it for a bunch of reasons. Number one, it cements you more to Coldwell Banker than you otherwise would be cemented. If you've been working at Coldwell Banker for 10 years and all of a sudden you decide you want to go work at RE/MAX, well, it's harder for you to leave and go to RE/MAX if you've been using the coldwellbanker.com for 10 years. Now, for that reason, a lot of agents don't want to use the coldwellbanker.com because they're like, well, if I don't like it here anymore and I want to go to RE/MAX, now I've got this coldwellbanker.com. Okay? I understand that. I get that. Okay? I'm an agent. I understand people change periodically. So, I have one suggestion though. If you are not going to use firstname.lastname@coldwellbanker.com, do not use johnsmith@gmail or johnsmith@yahoo or johnsmith@ those type of domains. In my opinion, and there may be a few of you watching or in this room that use that, that is extremely unprofessional. You are a real estate professional. Having a Gmail email address does not ooze professionalism. So if you're not going to be the coldwellbanker.com email person, or in my case, and quite honestly, I still have pioneerrealestate.com. I wish 9 years ago when I joined Coldwell Banker, I would have canned my pioneerrealestate.com and started using the coldwellbanker.com. I didn't do that because I had been using that email address for 10 years before that, or however long email had been around, which was long enough that I didn't want to make the change. But if you're not going to use a coldwellbanker.com email address, buy yourself a domain. Make something professional. John Smith Real Estate Professionals, or whatever. That's obviously too long, but something that is professional, or at John Smith Real Estate Group, or something that says I am a real estate professional as opposed to Gmail or Yahoo or MSN. It cracks me up when I see the MSN email addresses, and what's the really, really old, like the Prodigy. There's people still running around out there, I think, with Prodigy.com email. And Prodigy, I think, was the very first web place where you could go get an email address a million years ago. So at any rate, if you want to change it, this is where you do change it. If you do go out and get a lance@lancerealestate.com and you now want that to be your email address, this is where you're going to put it. Okay? You can also talk about how you want to get your emails delivered to you. This is incoming emails. Do you want to get them as HTMLs, which is probably what most of you are doing, or do you want to get them as plain text, or do you want to turn it off? I don't know what off means, but if you're using HTML emails, that's basically how most of us are receiving. It's the rich text type email stuff. So there's your settings. Pretty straightforward stuff. DBA exception tool, I don't think this is going to show up on use. This has to do, I think, with the company stuff, with our doing business as. So let me see if I can get out of this. Let's go back to our home screen. Oops, let's try to go back to our home screen. Okay, since this is frozen, this is actually a good example. I'm gonna log out of this because I think I screwed up. If you log into Coldwell Banker Works once in the morning, and then you log off, like I just kind of did on accident, if you go back to your saved links and you just click on it again, it should log you straight back in. You don't have to type in your username and password. Is kind of like a once a day kind of thing. It might actually be once every so many hours, but I'm pretty sure it's once a day. So if you log in the morning and then you log off, when you click it, you don't have to put your username and password in. Okay, so we've got our accounts. You can give them feedback. There's help. I honestly have had relatively good help at the help desk. You're having a problem, send them an email, and they're pretty good about it. Okay, get listings. There's a bunch of good stuff in here. We could spend an hour just right here. Okay, I'm going to give you the real fast overview. Hopefully you'll pick up some things you like, and then you'll go from there. Seller targeted marketing programs, and most everything in here is going to have something that can be downloaded. Okay? If you're not a Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate Town and Country or Realty Center agent, and you're watching this to think whether you want to come here, you can also log on to this site with the guest password. Send me an email, we'll give you the guest password, and you can actually download most of the stuff on this site with the guest password, and you don't even have to be an agent here. So if you're thinking about coming here, let me know, I'll give you the password. Okay, these are all the special seller targeted marketing programs. Most of these you probably already heard of. Luxury preview homes. So if you're interested in high-end stuff, you want to sell, and again, there's criteria to be a luxury preview home. It has to be a minimum sales price of $500,000. It has to be in the top, I think, 10% of the market that you're selling in. So we're doing this video in Moreno Valley. So first of all, the house would have to have a list price of over $500,000 or more. It would have to be in the top 10%, which in Moreno Valley it certainly would be. But if we were selling a property, let's say in Beverly Hills, and we had a $500,000 list price, even though we meet the list price threshold, the median price that's not in the top 10%, not even close, so it wouldn't qualify for the luxury preview. There's a whole bunch of criteria, but if you're interested in that, number one, you have to be certified, and number two, there's all sorts of requirements that you have to do in order to do that. Coldwell Banker's, and there's a whole bunch of other things. I might be in the wrong spot. They've got the for sale by owner marketing program. There's a veteran marketing program. There's a vacation home marketing program. There's a rental marketing program. And there's a few others we're probably going to hit on. The Coldwell Banker, matter of fact, let's just click on this really quick. All of these have links. I'm not sure why we're not getting the image. There should be an image of something over here. But going into the luxury home, there's going to be some information to download. So if this is something you're interested in, this is where you would go. And it's probably going to have a half a dozen or so links that say, this is some of the information I just gave you. This is what you've got to do. Okay? You've got to attend a class. I think it's 8 hours. If you're going to go to the New Orleans Coldwell Banker thing and you're interested in this, sign up now. Okay? There's certain things you have to do. They use different logos, by the way. You don't put up our normal Coldwell Banker sign. They have a special sign. Coldwell Banker Previews International. So there's all sorts of special things you have to do. There's some marketing researches, and they've got apparently some new stuff coming. So that's just the overview of the luxury stuff. For most of us, this is probably where we're going to spend most of our time, because this is our traditional real estate market. We're not probably going to be engaged too much in the preview stuff. And in the seller services plan, okay, so what do you want to do? Well, for the most part, probably what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do a listing presentation. Seller services electronic tools. Okay, these are our PDFs, excuse me, not PDFs, these are our PowerPoints. So let's click on one of these. And, whoops. Okay. So we've got a tutorial on how to do the listing presentation. This is a PDF. So if you're not sure how to customize your seller services proposal, PPP, that's our PowerPoint presentation, this will tell you how to do it. If you've seen somebody walk around with the listing presentation on their iPad, this will tell you how to get it there. It's very simple. Okay, you have to have the application. What's the iPad application? It's the
Keynote.
Yeah, Keynote. You have to have Keynote if you're going to use that. If you're not using an iPad, you can just download the regular PowerPoint presentation on a regular tablet. And of course then you use PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint for it. And then you actually have the Seller Services PowerPoint, demonstrate the power. Let's see what this gives us, what I think it's going to give us. Now this is going to download it. We'll go ahead and hope our internet connection is really fast. And what this should be giving us is the, and by the way, they call it the Seller Services presentation is the listing presentation. Okay, so if you're getting lost, and this is a little bit of a problem, I failed, and I'll show you when we get out of this, there's a search bar on there. So if you go up and you're like, I don't remember where Lance said this was, but I want to search. I think if you search listing presentation, it doesn't put you in the right spot. Okay, our common vernacular is not seller services presentation, so there's a little bit of a challenge with that. While this is downloading in the background, we're going to move on. But we are downloading the seller services PowerPoint as we speak. So there it is. And what else do they got down here at the bottom? There's your iPad presentation. This is what we're downloading right now. Another place to get it. Post-listing presentation, same thing. I now have taken the listing and I'm interested in, there's another presentation. Now that I've got your listing, what do you think about this? Okay, well, it's actually going to load the, okay, this is the PowerPoint that, and this is nice. If you download this for the first time, save this on your computer as the master, okay? And then everything in red is basically what you need to edit. Super, super simple. So this is my page 1. I'm going to log into Coldwell Banker Works, then click the resources below. All these sort of things are available to you. Market analysis report, representing the seller's needs, local expertise. You can put your photo here. It's very self-explanatory. Now this is not a how to prepare a PowerPoint class. We probably need to have a how to prepare a PowerPoint class, okay? Because the old school days of this is not how we do it anymore. If you are going to sit in front of your seller at the coffee table and say, this is how I'm going to sell your house, this is how we used to do it. Now if you're still doing it this way, frankly it's probably better than nothing, okay? But your laptop with your, this is why I have a tablet. I like to be able to turn it around, show my client what I'm doing, hit the next key and all the rest of that sort of stuff. And it wasn't that long ago when you brought a tablet to a presentation, you were something. And then when you brought a tablet to when I say a tablet, when you brought a notebook to a presentation, you were something because most of the agents weren't. And then when I got one that had the screen that turned around, boy, I was really something because most of the agents didn't have the one with the fancy screen that flipped around. Now today, quite honestly, everybody's got iPads and tablets, which would make me suggest if you don't have an iPad or a tablet and you aren't prepared to do a presentation in that format, I think you're in trouble, okay? It wasn't that long ago where very few agents, probably the top 1 or 2% of agents actually had access to a color printer, okay? And when you showed up at a listing presentation and you had color photographs of the seller's property, you were something, okay? Now, it's no big deal. Everybody shows up with color. So, same thing I think with notebooks and tablets. If you're not showing up, I think you're going to hurt yourself. I really do. So at any rate, this is the whole PowerPoint, completely customizable, and it tells you how to change it. About Coldwell Banker, Pioneer Real Estate, you need to have these. You need to have several of these, actually. And we're going to talk about this when we do our listing presentation. So when you save this on your notebook, you're going to have the master PowerPoint, and then you're going to have a PowerPoint for standard sales. You're going to have a PowerPoint for short sales. Maybe you're going to have have multiple different PowerPoints for standard sale engineer type client, which to me means I have a client who wants massive amounts of details. I have a 50-page PowerPoint because this seller has told me that they're an engineer, and I know engineers want a lot of information, okay? And then I have another client who's already told me, hey, I'm ready to go. I just come in and let's take care of this. Well, I might want to have my seller PowerPoint ready to go, which may only have 5 slides in it. The 5 things that are super duper important that I make sure I convey to them. Because what happens if I sit down with that person and I try to go through 50 slides? I'm going to lose them. And quite honestly, if you sit down with a PowerPoint and you have 5 slides in front of the engineer, they're going to say, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about this, and what about this? So you're going to want to have multiple different PowerPoints. Same thing with your short sale. If you're doing short sales, and let's suppose you're getting a lot of chase business, you may want to have a seller's PowerPoint presentation which is geared for chase short sales. You may want to have another one that's geared for B of A short sales. Okay, so you know where I'm going with this. So anyway, bottom line is, this is where you can download. Honestly, I haven't seen this. I'm curious. I'm going to click on this post listing presentation. We'll let that load up in the background. Or then again, maybe we won't. Post listing presentation, Coldwell Banker post presentation created to provide you with visually compelling, custom PowerPoint to use in your conversation with sellers regarding price adjustments. Okay. Now it's time to get a price. I didn't know that. Okay. They're putting stuff on here all day. I don't know whether this has been here for 3 minutes or 3 years, but now it's time to have that negotiation with price reduction. Well, there it is. Okay. And by the way, even if it's not a cool, you might want to put this. I am going to download this. Because you might want to look at this. Anybody in this room downloaded this? None of you. Okay, good. All right, so you learned something. So the price of admission has been paid for. You want to go download this. Now you may say, well, I don't ever have to take a listing where I need a price reduction. Okay, fine. But I bet you $1, there's probably 1 or 2 slides in this PowerPoint that I want to put in my first PowerPoint. Because I want to talk about price reductions in advance. Or, quite honestly, if I'm taking a listing today and we've had the conversation, your property is worth $240, and I really understand that we're going to list at $260, and I've told you I think that's a problem, but you and I have agreed that at a certain benchmark you're going to reduce to $250, and at another benchmark you're going to reduce to $240, whatever it happens to be. If I'm having that conversation with my seller, I may want to pull this PowerPoint out next. You know, right after I get the listing. Oh, hey, we've got the listing, great. I tell you what, I told you already we're not going to be able to sell it. I've got another presentation which is 16 slides. I tell you, why don't we do that now? Let me show you what I'm going to show you in 30 days from now. Why your house hasn't sold. And obviously you want to customize all of this stuff. Okay, so this is the post listing stuff. You know. Oh, which by the way, this is another great example. If you don't hold open houses, the presentation talks about marketing properties. One of the things it talks about in this particular one is open houses, and I believe it also talks about open houses in the other one. You need to make a conscious decision when you prepare your PowerPoint to either strip all references to open houses or make a conscious reference to open house stating, oh, by the way, if you're looking for an agent who holds open houses, that's not me, and this is why. Okay? Deal with that stuff up front. So you need to spend some time going through these. Okay, so there's your PowerPoint for the post presentation. I'm just going to go back to my seller targeted marketing. Now, you're going to find a lot of these links repeat. So this is where we started. It's going to have the luxury thing. It's going to have the, okay, here's our luxury, here's our seller service. For sale, but I'm not going to go into the for sale. It's the same type of thing. If you are targeting for sale by owners, and in this marketplace today, December of 2011, not a big market for us. Okay, down the road it may be. There you go. Okay, so there's information on that, and then you can tailor make that to what you're looking for. Now again, I'm still at Get Listings. I'm going to go to listing presentations. You're going to find a lot of the stuff in the listing presentation is the same stuff we just talked about. Okay. Multiple places to get to the same stuff. Here's our seller service. Here's the post listing thing that we already talked about. Coldwell Banker flyers. Okay, I personally hate flyers. I've never liked flyers. Sellers like flyers. Okay, so this will basically talk about a whole series of flyers that are easy to go. Which, by the way, if you are a realtor working in this office and you are spending hours and hours and hours making flyers, stop. You know, if you wanted a job typesetting or making flyers, then go get a job typesetting and making flyers. Okay, we've all done it. I've done it. Okay, stop that. If you're spending more than 10 minutes putting a picture and a description on a flyer, stop. Get somebody else to do that, or use some of these templates. But we shouldn't be spending a lot of time making flyers. That's busy work. That's the type of stuff when you go home at the end of the day and you talk to your spouse and say, what'd you do? Oh, I was really busy today selling real estate. Well, what'd you do? Oh, I made a bunch of flyers. Okay, Well, you weren't busy selling real estate. You're playing. Okay? Don't hide behind that and think you're selling real estate, because flyers are, that's nonsense. You want some statistics on ColdwellBanker.com. This is pretty nice. So you can, again, you can have a separate presentation. And again, you got to know your client, okay? And you got to know where to put this and how to put it. Let's see what we got here. 2011 year to date. Okay, let's just do 2010, because 2011 I'm assuming is not going to be complete. So there is a 2010 year-to-date stats on traffic to ColdwellBanker.com. Know your client. If you have a client that this is important to, be prepared to pull it out. Okay? And by the way, when I say pull it out, everything that you're going to have on your iPad or your tablet or your notebook, you need to go old school, guys. You need to have the nice printed out stuff ready to go, something that you can leave behind. Some clients won't want it. They'll say, no, it's fine, email it to me. Be prepared to do that. But you're going to have clients, and you're going to have clients, honestly, and you need to know this as well. As soon as you pull out the iPad, or as soon as you pull out the tablet, you're going to get the body language, and you're going to get the feeling from them that I think these people would rather see it like this. Okay? So I'm not saying don't have this. Have all of it. Have this, and have this, and have this, and have it all ready to go, depending on who your client is. If you have a client who's interested in what sort of hits in 2010, well, here you go. This is the unique visitors by month for 2010 at ColdwellBanker.com. Okay?
Is that nationwide, or?
This is ColdwellBanker.com. All hits. Now, would it be nice if this was doing this and going off the chart and had 1 million hits? All that? Of course it would. Well, for whatever reason, tail off at the end of last year. For whatever reason, the hits were less. It is what it is. It's data. Don't be afraid to share it. Okay? Because quite honestly, can your consumer get this without you? You could find this exact slide probably on the internet in about 60 seconds. So if it's important for your consumer to know what mobile traffic, I'm assuming this is, you know, smartphone type stuff. But at any rate, if it's important for your consumer, give it to them, and if you don't like this slide because it looks like the traffic is tailing off, suck it up. It's tail. Yeah, you're right. It's tail off. Why? I don't know. Or maybe come up with something a little bit better than that. But you know, give them the information, because God forbid you lie to them. Nielsen ratings. We do television commercials. Okay, television commercial here. You should have, by the way. Let me show you. Let's see. Let's perform a test. And this is always the danger of doing these classes and not being completely prepared. Full disclosure, I'm not completely prepared. Which is why, by the way, if my profession, and I guess it is, was to teach these classes, I would never do what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to log on to here blindly, and I'm going to try to do something that I have not done in probably 4 months. Okay? So if I'm going to take a chance that I'm going to be able to find what I want, I'm doing just that. I'm taking a chance. I'm taking the chance of embarrassing myself that I'm not going to be able to find the television spot that I want. So if you're doing that in your listing presentation and you're winging it and you haven't practiced and you want to do this, then all I would suggest is when you get caught, the next time you do that listing presentation, you're not going to do that. So if I get embarrassed on this sample right here, then I'm going to probably cut this part of the video out and then we're going to redo it. So anyway, here's looks like a television commercial. Which, by the way, all of these television commercials, bent down, removed by, see, there you go. What just happened is what I just didn't want to happen. All of these television commercials that are available here, you need to download. Okay? So, I'm trying to get back into Coldwell Banker Works. And I'm going to try that one more time. I don't know why that was removed. That's not good. Shouldn't have been removed. Let's see if I can find another one. Here's the campaign. Here's a 2011 campaign. Again, this may be important to you as well. There's a printed version of what the campaign is, and it's kind of strange if you pay attention to the Coldwell Banker television commercials. There's definitely periods of time when the commercials are in your face, depending on what channels you're watching. And then there's periods of time that will go by and you'll be like, geez, I haven't seen a Coldwell Banker commercial in 4 months. Well, if you want to know when they're running, here's the PDF. This is what I tried to open that it wouldn't open. We'll come back to that in a minute. This is a PDF. And you need to have this. This should be part of your presentation. You can Jing this. And by the way, if you don't have a program called Jing, little tidbit. Up here, you see this little sun up here? That's a program called Jing. You need to get that. It's free. Go Google it. Jing. J-I-N-G. Let's suppose that I want to, this is a really important piece of information, and I want to put it in my PowerPoint. I'll show you how easy this is. You hit your little sun, you hit your little cross. I want to copy this piece of information right here, and I want to put it in a PowerPoint. I save it, and I copy it. I now have a copy of what I just did, and you can rip it off of a website, you can pull it off of another PowerPoint, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff with it, and now that image that I just captured I can put into any PowerPoint or any presentation or email that I want. Okay, this is the television schedule. Again, have this available when you're doing your listing presentation, or when your buyers probably don't care as much about this, but when you're looking for sellers, this is where the television, the shows that they're on, and this is when they run. Okay? Do a lot of stuff on ESPN. They do a lot of stuff on CNN. A lot of they have a big thing with HGTV, and you'll see stuff there. But you'll also see it, on the Today Show, when they're running those commercials. Okay? So that's available to be downloaded. I'm going to try one more time because I like this spot. It should give us. Okay. Now, having said that, because you always have a backup plan, right? We have on our website, which by the way, again, you're going to have certain clients where this works, and you're going to have other clients where this doesn't work. Oops. The television commercials that I'm looking for are on our website. Okay? You need to have these. I'm in the wrong spot. No, I'm in the wrong spot. Helps if I go to the right spot.
Go to the home.
No, they're actually under the general info, I'm pretty sure. On our website, we have downloaded the television commercials for your viewing pleasure. Okay? This is a television commercial, which is a great television commercial, by the way. I showed this on our sales meeting a while back, and this is the NAR commercial. I'm not going to click on it now because we don't want to see that one. This is California Association of Realtors commercial, which if we want to play that one. And this is the commercial, hopefully it'll play. I haven't played this thing in a couple weeks. I'm wondering why. Maybe for some reason, maybe they pulled it down. That would be really odd. Wow. Well, the TV commercial that I'm trying, this is the commercial that we were just trying to link on coldbanker.com, and it's not. Wow, that's really strange. I wonder why they've taken that down. Well, at any rate, all the more reason why, if I was a good broker and you were good agents, when these television commercials come out, rip them off, save a copy of that television commercial on the hard drive of your computer, and then you don't have to worry about whether or not it's pulled off of YouTube or the link on YouTube got messed up. And you should be able to do that. And I'm a little embarrassed that these aren't there. But anyway, we're putting them on our website, but there seems to be a problem with the Coldwell Banker commercial. We'll have to figure out what's going on with that. But again, that's the type of stuff that you may want. Send a link to your client. Don't send it to them now, but send a link to your client. Maybe a pre-listing presentation. Hey, I'm confirming our appointment for tonight at 6 o'clock, which by the way, I think this is fantastic. This is everything we're going to discuss tonight. Here's a PDF of the listing agreement. Here's the disclosures we're going to talk about. Here's a PowerPoint with everything we're going to go through. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested, click on this link and you can watch the latest Coldwell Banker television commercial. Send it to them before you even meet them. Or send it to them after. Hey, I know I didn't get the listing. I know you promised me you'd call me next week. But I'll tell you what, here's everything that we just discussed tonight. And it's really easy. Package it all up and it's good to go. Okay, so enough of that. Let's go back to our listing presentations. Again, there's more stuff. Let me just go through this. Oops, well, let me go back to listing presentations real quick. I think there's one other thing in here I want to talk about. Listing, how we go. Okay, why Coldwell Banker? Oh, and then the stats. Okay, so we covered all of that. All right, so then we've got the farming and prospecting. Okay, we haven't done our class on farming yet, but you know, in our business planning class last night, we were talking about everything you should be doing revolves around prospecting. Everything we're doing is prospecting. I'm not training right now. I'm prospecting. I'm prospecting for new agents who are watching this video, and I'm not necessarily prospecting for agents who are currently in this room, but I'm trying to retain you, as is very, very important to broker owners at Coldwell Banker. We got to recruit you, and we got to keep you, okay? And if we're not constantly providing value, there's a problem. Now, nobody farms anymore, okay? Farming is an old school word that basically said, I'm going to identify a block of houses, 100 houses or 1,000 houses, and over an extended period of time, I'm going to knock doors, I'm going to make phone calls, I'm going to send emails. On Halloween, I'm going to deliver pumpkins. On Memorial Day, I'm going to bring a watermelon with a little note on it that says, I hope you have a great Memorial Day and this is for your barbecue. On the 4th of July, I'm going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to plant little flags in everybody's yard with my business card on the bottom. It says, Happy 4th of July from Lance Martin at Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate. At spring, you're going to drop off little packages of seeds for marigolds. In the middle of the summer, you're going to drop off fly swatters because flies come out. And then you're going to drop off yardsticks. I don't even know if they have yardsticks anymore. Back when I was farming, people loved yardsticks. A yardstick. Lance Martin, Coldwell Banker, go the extra yard for you. They take them, they put it in the corner of their kitchen. They call you 5 years later. You go to their house, you see your yard. It's the thing that you never would have had in your life. You're like, I can't believe you kept that yardstick over there. Or the refrigerator magnet with the calendar on it. Or the fly swatter. I haven't had a fly swatter. I don't think I've owned a fly swatter. I've given away thousands of fly swatters. People like them. The fly swatter with the little hole in the middle. Lance Martin or Coldwell Banker says, give the fly a fighting chance. You give it a little hole so if you hit in the wrong spot, you don't kill them, right? People save that crap, okay? That's farming. That's prospecting. So there's a whole bunch of brochures in here that revolve around farming and prospecting, theme promotions. I just hit almost every theme you possibly could have, you know. Spring forward, fall back, the time change stuff. 2 great ways to communicate with people in your farm. You send them a postcard, you make a flyer, you send them an email. Hey, it's time to spring forward, don't forget to change your clock. Oh, by the way, if you're really good about it, this is what you do. You get yourself a little flyer, whatever. You get yourself a flyer and you tape a 9-volt battery to it. Spring forward, fall back, twice a year. You say, don't forget to set your clock. Oh, and by the way, now's a good time to check the battery in your smoke detector. Here's a $3 battery courtesy of Lance at Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate. And then you know the clients that are elderly and you knock on their door. Hey, Mrs. Smith, it's me again. I'm here to change your smoke detector for you. I'm not kidding. You want to be a fantastic real estate agent, do that sort of stuff. You will own. I've told the story in a different class. I used to farm about 500 houses, not that many houses. I really farmed a neighborhood of about 137 houses. Of those 137 houses, I sold over 70 houses in a 130 house tract over a period of 4 or 5 years. Some of them twice. That's what I did. Ask my kids. The 4th of July. The morning of the 4th of July was not go to the river and barbecue. The morning of the 4th of July was we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and plant flags in people's yards. Memorial Day, you rent a truck, fill it with watermelons with big stickers on them, have a great picnic. Okay? Again, pumpkins, all that stuff. Okay? Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff in here as far as marketing stuff for farming and those type of promotions. Increased listings. I have no idea what's in here. All the more reason. Let's learn together. Referrals. Oh, okay. Referrals. We are part of the Realogy family. Okay. Realogy owns the Coldwell Banker brand, the Century 21 brand, ERA, Sotheby's. Okay. And I think there might be one. Oh, and Better Homes and Gardens. Okay. All under the Realogy franchise. There are resources and referrals. Most of us don't take advantage of this. This is another reason I mentioned in the previous class. It's not a bad idea to, I know it gets expensive, but it's not a bad idea to go to these Gen Blue. Okay? If you're really, really aggressive, you may not realize this, but Gen Blue Coldwell Banker Convention, February 29th to March 3rd. Now, I don't exactly know when the dates are, but I guarantee you the following. 3 days before this, or 3 days after that, or 3 days after that, guess who else is having conventions in the same convention center in the same hotels? Century 21 is going to come in 3 days before us. ERA is going to come in 3 days after us. Now, most agents say, well, I'm a Coldwell Banker agent. Why would I go to the Century 21 conference? Why would I go to the ERA conference? Well, why do you prospect at all? You know, you might want to make a week and a half event out of this. Well, you want me to go to the Century 21 conference with my Coldwell Banker cards? Why not? Right? You're going to find some top producing agents in there, and you're looking, getting back to where we just were, you're looking for referrals. Why not find some heavy hitting agents in areas outside? And again, don't necessarily think agents in Florida. Think agents in Orange County and Los Angeles County don't like to come out to the Inland Empire to work with buyers and sellers. They do, but if you find some good folks, be your Inland Empire contact for these folks. So at any rate, that's, again, I'm kind of talking off the top of my head. Okay, selling. This is geared towards working with buyers. Okay, so buyer targeted marketing programs. Now, working with buyers is a little bit different, but guess what? They've got a whole PowerPoint that talks about working with buyers. I'm not going to download it, but you click on here, you go through, you may have a buyer that it's perfectly appropriate at some point in time, maybe after you've shown them the second or the 22nd house, or maybe they're in the conference room and they're going through something. You might want to sit back and say, hey, I'll tell you what, and this is the cool thing about like the iPads and stuff. Give them your iPad while you're running to the copy machine or getting a cup of coffee and say, hey, why don't you just scroll through this here a little bit? Okay? Let them look at your own PowerPoint. Okay? And it'll go through and it'll talk about the process. Okay? And things you might want to, well, what the heck, I can't resist. So, by the way, every time I do this, it's going to give me the opportunity to save these PowerPoints on my computer. Okay? And you need to save these PowerPoints on your computer. And this is their presentation. I don't know if it's downloaded or not. Looks like it took me to this page to download. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, the Home Buyer Guidebook. Has anybody seen this? Has anybody ever used it? Are you going to use this on every client?
Yeah.
No. Well, okay, yes. If you decide yes, great. If you make a conscious decision, Rose, hit the light.
Today's market right now, yeah.
Hit the light in the back. If you make a conscious decision that every buyer that you come in contact with, you are going to either review this with them or at least get it in their hands in one form or another, then so be it. Or you may be more selective. Certain buyers need a little extra help. And again, with all of these PowerPoints, I don't know how many pages this one is, but with all these PowerPoints, just because it's 50 pages doesn't mean you need to use 50 pages. There may be only 3 pages in there that you like. We'll delete the other 47 and use those 3, or take those 3 out and incorporate it into something else that you've done. Okay? Anyway, I don't want to wait for this to load. We'll move on. So, we've got that for the buyer's presentation guide. Again, I personally have not taken I don't think most of the agents are utilizing. Oh, okay. Well, here it is. Buying your house. Let's just take a second. Is there anything of value here? What are we? Oh, is this important?
Definitely.
Sure it is. Now, even for yourself, okay? Agents are always asking for scripts. Well, Lance, you said when I need to ask them for this, I need to ask them that. I don't remember what I asked them. Well, use this for yourself. If anything else, hey, have you been pre-qualified? Oh, when you get pre-qualified, you might need a few things. Okay, here they are. A lot of agents actually have this type of stuff. If you're strictly a buyer's agent, you work with a lot of buyers. I've seen agents that actually print this on the back of their business card. Okay, hey, by the way, here's me, but this is what you need. Do all these things, and at the end, that's my preferred lender. I want you to call Joe at Joe's Mortgage. Okay, maybe you've got a credit approved challenge. Why don't you start paying your bills on time? I like that. Okay. Anyway, all sorts of cool stuff in here in this PowerPoint. So, and again, and this PowerPoint is, how many pages is this?
Well,
Not that many. It's only 12 pages long. But anyway, go through the stuff. How to write it or not. Oh, this is another thing. We talked about this in prior classes. Some buyers do not understand how you get paid. Okay? This might be a great opportunity. I don't know, maybe it's already in here.
You don't have a video for it?
No, but we need one. And by the way, everything you have on here should be on video too. You should have a video presentation of your listing presentation, which you can send to your client before, during, and after your listing presentation. It says, oh, in case you missed anything, here is my listing presentation. Oh, by the way, you wanted the abbreviated listing presentation because you were in a hurry. Out of good conscience, I'm going to give you the extended one. Here's an hour-long video of me talking straight into the camera of all of the things that you didn't want me to talk about. Here's your email. Which, by the way, would be really cool when you're in litigation with that particular seller 3 years from now, because they said you did not tell them this.
I don't think you can use video anyways.
Oh, I wouldn't mind having the email that says, hey, I sent them this, and this is what I told them. And by the way, Your Honor, if you're getting sued for $100,000, I think someone will sit down and watch a 30-second clip of a video that says, the thing they said I wasn't going to do, never told them. Not only did I not tell them, I emailed it to them, and I said, would you please watch this? At any rate, we're going crazy here. But anyway, we've got all this cool stuff. The whole thing about Lead Router. We're a big Lead Router company here, right? There's a whole thing in here in Lead Router. Which, by the way, in your listing presentation, I don't know if it's still up here. Did we download the listing presentation? Yep, we sure did. There's a slide in here, somewhere. Anyway, let's just pretend this is it. There's a slide in your listing presentation that talks about Lead Router. Okay, we're going to do this in the listing presentation class. You need to be active in lead. If you're getting listings, if you're a listing agent, you're going on listing presentations, you need to be an active Lead Router user. Well, wait a minute, Lance. Lead Router is for buyers, and I don't like working with buyers, and I just want to refer the buyers, so therefore, I don't want to use Lead Router. Lead Router is the single most powerful listing tool that you will ever have. When you get to this slide on your presentation, and it talks about Lead Router, you then want to take your client to the page that you already have up. You already have ColdwellBanker.com up, the public site. You already have your profile up, or you walk them through it. You then go to listings for Diane and John Speaker. Okay? And no, they have listings. They have a lot of listings. Where's our listings go? We might have a ColdwellBanker.com problem. That's strange. Well, hopefully we can get a listing here. Okay? Alright, so we got a listing. They do have listings. And again, what did we talk about earlier? You need to log on to all of your websites and see, how come my listings aren't there? They have probably 15 or 20 listings. Okay? For some reason, maybe it was just a glitch, maybe I didn't give the program enough time to download it, but you need to log on Where'd my listings go? Because if you don't, then you're going to discover it 6 months from now from a seller. Your seller is going to call you and say, hey, I was on ColdwellBanker.com and I don't see my $4.1 million listing. What gives?
What do you do when that?
You let me know. Or you let Shelly know. There's a glitch. Something has happened. It's technology. Something's happened. So anyway, this is the deal. You pretend you are a buyer, okay? And you pretend you are interested in this property, and you click contact. And you go in here and you type in pretend buyer, pretend phone number. You type in a note. What's your seller's name? Your seller's name is Mr. and Mrs. Seller. You type in a note. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Seller, my name is pretend buyer, and I'm interested in buying this house. And Lance Martin is the best listing agent in the world. And if you have any doubts that you should be listing with him, you should actually put those aside, pull out the pen, and sign the listing agreement right now. Thank you, click. You click the send button, and then what happens to that lead?
Emails to you? Goes to you.
Well, it not only does it email to you,
Lead writer calls you.
it goes, 60 seconds later, now again, you have to have a listing. If you don't have a listing, this won't work. Now they could click on the, going back to Diane and John Speaker,
Where does it go to?
well, if you don't have a listing, then what you have to do is you have to click on contact Diane and John. Okay? If you do that, then their phone rings directly. If Diane and John have a listing, which they do, or if you have a listing, which you should, and then you click on your listing as a pretend buyer, that doesn't go to the call center. That goes to you. And in approximately 60 seconds, your phone rings, and you guys know what happens. And if you don't, if you're not familiar with Lead Router, what happens is your phone rings. You're in your listing presentation. You answer it. You put it on speaker, and it says you have a Coldwell Banker lead on 123 Main Street. The price is, the buyer's name is pretend buyer, and then it reads you. What does it read you? It reads you those remarks that you typed in that says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you're thinking about not selling with Lance, you're an idiot. You need to sell with Lance. If that doesn't cement a listing deal for you, then you're not trying hard enough. Okay? Most of the time you won't need that, but anyway, it's a fantastic tool. But again, you've got to be prepared for this sort of stuff. I would love for somebody to come back and say, Lance, I tried it and it worked beautifully and it was the coolest thing since sliced bread. Because it is the coolest thing since sliced, and it works. Okay? All the more reason you always have to have a listing. If you don't have I don't care if you work with buyers all the time, go out and get a listing. It ain't that hard. If your life depended on it, if your life depended on it, everybody in this room could have a listing by Sunday night. And frankly, if you're really life dependent on it, you can have the listing maybe by the end of the night tonight, or certainly by the end of the day tomorrow. Just saying.
And if it's short, it'll be there for a couple months. So.
Just saying. What's that?
If it's a short, it'll be there for a couple months.
I don't care. Go get a listing. Because if you don't have a listing, you can't do what I just said. Go get one. It's not that hard. Go get a short sale. Go take an overpriced listing. Go find one that's expired. That's listed for $300,000 and it's only worth $100,000. I'm your guy. All right, we'll cut that part of the tape out, but get a listing, preferably one you can sell. Okay, growth markets. Okay, this is what we talked about earlier. There's some really cool stuff in here. We're taping this video in the city of Moreno Valley. We are 2 miles away from March Air Force Base. Yes, it's a reserve Air Force Base, I understand that. There are more people in that Air Force Base today than there were when it was an active Air Force Base 12, 13 years ago. Well, there's a whole bunch of growth markets which seem to have disappeared. But anyway, they're listed here. New homes, military, vacation. There's a whole bunch of cool material that's specifically designed for veterans. VA loan stuff, military stuff. God forbid you be creative. You go down and you run an ad in the newspaper. I forgot the name of it. They got a special newspaper that goes all over the base to all the veterans. Why don't you present yourself as the local professional for veterans, especially if you are a veteran? Anybody in this room a veteran? Okay, I know we've got veterans. Our sales manager is a veteran. Pardon me?
I'm a spouse of a veteran.
A spouse of a veteran. They've got great marketing materials. all designed towards veterans. Things about financing, beautiful things with guys in their dress blues and flags behind them. Cool stuff. Vacation home isn't really big for us in this particular location, but maybe you want to do some stuff in the mountains. New homes. We used to have a lot more new construction here, okay? It's going to come back. Well, and there's still some here. Put together a whole thing, Coldwell Banker New Homes Professional, brand yourself, go sell to builder closeouts. It ain't that hard. And frankly, when you walk in there with the Coldwell Banker brand behind you, the single largest real estate franchise in the world, bar none, times 5, okay? Way bigger than anybody else, Century 21, RE/MAX, all the big boys. We are the largest real estate franchise on the planet. You can say that with confidence every single time. And you put your new homes marketing and your face, Chris Sleeper, and whatever it happens to be. There's cool stuff there. So, at any rate, all sorts of stuff with the growth markets. Okay, where was I? Buyer. Okay, went through that. Property marketing. There's just flyers and stuff in here. Okay, go into the property marketing section. Online stuff, ad templates, identity standards. If you're not sure if you want to do something special and you're going to go out on your own and get some, go to a printer and say, print this up for me. Send them a copy of the identity standards. It tells them what color this blue is. This is not blue. This is Pantone 201. Okay? How many different shades of blue are there? There's 1,000 different shades of blue. Believe me, it makes a difference. We don't want this to be our Coldwell Banker blue. Okay? Send them to your printer. It tells them exactly how to do that. Ad templates, all sorts of stuff that you can customize. Now, full disclosure. Some of this stuff, when you go in there, you can't just pull it off and start typing in your name. Okay? Some of this stuff, it's trademarked, it's branded, and they basically want you to, take it to a printer, or you have to go to one of the Coldwell Banker vendors. You have to go to Docs Express or Merrill Corporation or whatever it happens to be. But this is why I say, if you're spending hours and hours and hours creating flyers, stop. Don't create an open house flyer. You've already got one right up here. Okay? Well, I don't like that one. Well, then convert this one over here. I don't know what this is for. Let's celebrate 4th of July. Well, maybe you like flags on your stuff. Make that your open house flyer. Don't create all this nonsense and going through and making designs. And there's dozens and dozens and dozens of these. I mean,
steal the idea and
just
take 10 minutes.
Right.
Add your picture.
Right. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, Anyway, I won't go through them. They're all there.
Those are templates that are already in there?
Yeah, these are already in there.
Oh, wow.
Now again, full disclosure. Not some of these you can pull off, create an editable PDF, put in your name and do that. Not all of them. So don't get disappointed. Well, I can't modify this. It says I have to go here and pay for it. Well, okay, you got to go there and pay for it. Okay? Or you print it off and you take it down to PIP and you say, hey, I want something like this, and put my name and my picture here. Okay? So there's just tons of stuff like that on here. National websites. I'm not going to go through that. Online company and agent tool. There is one thing. There's a really nice slide in here, and I think we already probably went right past it. But there's a really nice slide, because I even get confused when you sit down with a seller specifically. They says, well, where are you going to advertise my property? Instantly you're like, uh-oh. I don't see a lot of newspaper advertising being done by Coldwell Banker Pioneer. Our brokerage doesn't do a lot of institutional print advertising. That's true. Okay? I abandoned that 6-7 years ago. But you can give them a slide which is factually correct that says, you list with me, your property is...
It's on your listing presentation.
Oh, it's on the listing presentation. And there's another slide in here somewhere where it talks about website options and all the rest of that sort of stuff. Again, and you got to, if you're not a smartphone user, be a smartphone user. If you're still walking around with the old flip phone, Motorola or the Trio, whatever it happens to be, get rid of it. Get an iPhone. Get a Galaxy. Get a something. Okay? Get a smartphone. Your clients have it. You need to have one. Get with it. All right? And make sure whatever applications you're using work on I gotta tell you, when we're modifying our website, we make a change. One of the very first things I do on my website is I open up my iPad and I open up my iPhone. And then I open up my regular web browser. Because I want to make sure whatever we did can be seen by all those people. Okay? Nothing more frustrating for us Apple iPad people. You're on somebody's website, there's a video, you go to play it, it's flash. Okay? Well, guess what? You will not find a flash video anywhere on our website because I want the people with the iPads and the Macs and the iPhones to be able to look at our videos. So our videos are whatever they are. They're not flash. Okay? That's important. You need to know all that stuff. Okay. Getting through the cell, blah, 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 blah. Where was I? Okay, distress. I've never seen this. Has anybody looked at the distressed property REO and short sales? Relatively new. Having said that, we got to the party way too late. This link should have been on our website 6, 7 years ago. Certainly 6 years ago. I think this just showed up on coldwellbanker.com, maybe within the last 2. But, hey, we're at the party. A little bit late, but we're at the party. Okay? And I don't know what we got on here. Looks like we got some training. We got some websites. This will tell you how to get on. You know, you want to become a Fannie Mae agent? Click right there. Good luck. Okay? It's going to take you to Fannie Mae's website. Same thing with Freddie Mac. But, you know, we're trying a little pathetic effort, to be honest with you, on Coldwell Banker's part. But there's some stuff here. Some stuff, why foreclosures are right. These are some articles, again, some stuff that you may want to put into your presentation. Now, I haven't seen this. Having said that, we're going to do this. This home buyer seminar in a box. This office is going to do this. If I don't do this, don't wait for me. Do it yourself. And say, hey, Lance, you said you were going to do it, but you didn't. You know, I was going to use the conference room, but I've had so much response. I'm now going to go over to the Marriott, and we rented a thing there. They have a seminar in a box. You want to know how to do a home buyer seminar? This one appears as though it's somewhat geared around distressed properties, which is timely for us. Okay, all sorts of cool stuff. Maybe it looks like you can even create a whole website based upon it. Fill out a press release. I'm going to put a press release out in the press enterprise. They'll take those things all day long. Lance Martin, a Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate, is going to put on a home buyer seminar. We're going to talk about how to buy an REO property in today's market. What to look for in a short sale in today's market. Visit our webpage. Visit our whatever. It's all there. Never done it? Do it. Okay? We're going to do this. We're going to do this as an office. And you know, they got a couple. Looks like they got an e-card that can be sent out, inviting people and such. So I'm just curious. Let's just open one of these. This is a PDF. Hopefully, it won't take too long to download. Okay, what time is it? We got some time stuff. Anyway, I'm assuming this PDF is going to just kind of be an introductory, almost like a flyer that says this is what we're doing. So while we're waiting for that, oops. Okay, there it is. Let's see if we can see it.
You're gonna have a seminar for first-time buyer?
Yes. Well,
How about
I don't know if we could, maybe that's a different seminar. Maybe we have a buyer seminar who's interested in short sales. We have another one that's interested in foreclosures. We have another one that's interested in first-time buyers. I don't know. We'll call it whatever we
Can we
want.
have one for distressed properties and give them the option of a short sale?
Why not?
Let's do it. We'll
Why
put it
not?
together.
You wanna do it?
Yeah.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
This looks like a whole bunch of, tells you how to do it. Here's the whole thing. Here's how you're going to do it. Even down to, you know, make sure you get a projector and a screen. Make sure you get a microphone. You know, all of those little things. I've never done it before. What do I need? This is what you need. Anyway, it sounds like you guys are going to do it. Good. We'll see who does it first. I will believe it when I see it. Not that I don't believe you, but I don't believe you. So when you do it, I'll believe you. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Where want to go back to?
We're gonna go big into that.
Go big, do it. Hey, nothing would make me happier than for you guys. I just,
Boy, it'll make us more happy.
absolutely. Okay, promote yourself. Not going to go through every single one of these. You guys got the gist of how this works. Public relations talks about press releases, okay? We are very bad about taking advantage of free press releases. There are tons of press releases. Lance Martin, new agent at Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate. Lance Martin at Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate is going to put on a home buyer seminar. Lance Martin at Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate just got a CDPE certification, and I'm now a certified distressed property expert.
Where do those post at?
Here they are. It's canned. You modify the language a little bit. So if you're not good at, or you write your own. I mean, if you're talented and you have the gift to write, then you don't need this. Write your own press release. Send it in to the Riverside Press Enterprise or the Los Angeles Times. For us, our local paper is Riverside Press Enterprise. You send it into them. I guarantee your press release will appear in the real estate section, the home buyer's guide, probably within 4 to 6 weeks. They need space. They want people to send that stuff in, and it's free. Costs nothing.
Can you do like open houses too?
They're not. They don't want necessarily. They want it to be. If I was to send something in that says Chris Leeper just joined Coldwell Banker and a little bio, they take that all day long. Or you just got certified in something, or you're the top agent for 20. They'll take that. Okay. They're not really interested in, we have a property for sale or an open house this weekend. They want that, but they don't want to put that in the press release section. They want you to pay for an ad that says you're holding an open house this weekend. Okay?
What about with the city of Moreno Valley?
Okay.
Yeah, we can, you know how they,
In the local section, yeah, all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
But anyway, these are pre-written. So if you're like me and you're not a good writer, I'm not good at that stuff. I have great ideas, but when it comes to writing a press release, boy, just give me something where I can put my name and change the city and a few other things. I'll do that all day long. Okay, actually I won't, otherwise I'd be doing more. But it's there. Anyway, this is good stuff on specifically on Coldwell Banker, public relations. This talks about learning how, if someone from the newspaper calls you, okay, what to say, what not to say. It may not happen to you on a regular, it happens to me all the time. I get Leslie Berkman at Press Enterprise calls me twice a month. Why does she call me? You want to know why she calls me? Because I'm involved at the Board of Realtors. Okay? So, if you think it's cool and you want to be quoted in the Riverside Press Enterprise as an expert, get involved in the board. Run for the Board of Directors, get on an important committee, run for president. I guarantee if you run for president of the Board of Realtors, for the rest of your life, you will be getting phone calls from the local newspapers saying, Stephen, what do you think of the new data quick numbers that just came out? Is that valuable? Valuable to me, because what am I doing? I'm recruiting. And when someone sees Lance Martin at Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate said, now again, you better take some public relations class, because if you say something stupid, you're opposite of recruiting. Okay? But people see that. Some people see some value in that. Ooh, wow, this guy must be something. Who is he? Why did they call him? Alright, so at any rate, that's what that's all about. Which, and again, not part of this. I've said this previously. Get involved at the board. Get involved at the board. Oh, the board's nonsense. All they do is meet. There's a bunch of people who don't do any business. Get involved anyway. Okay? Meet these people, get elevated, you will get business from it, I guarantee it. Would it be nice for you guys to sit back and on your reference, on your PowerPoint, I don't even know if it's on here. Okay, let's pretend this is our seller service PowerPoint, and let's pretend this is the last page, and let's pretend on here you have a list of references, which is kind of blasé, but occasionally will you have a seller, or not probably a buyer very often, but will you have somebody say, give me some references? Yep. Would it be cool if you had reference on there that said, why don't you call the past president of the National Association of Realtors and ask him whether Lance is a good guy? And actually put his name and his phone number on there and have your client call, wow, this guy is going to get a reference from the past president of the National Association of Realtors? Maybe that means something. They call him up, they pick up the phone, and they say, hey, Walt, do you know this Lance Martin guy? Because he says that you know him and that you're going to say nice things about him. And Walt will say nice things about me. How do I know Walt?
Are you the past president?
Not of the National Association, but it doesn't look bad on your resume to put, oh, by the way, I was the past president of the Riverside Moreno Valley Association. People, you know, I mean, you know, perception is. Pardon me?
We can use you as a reference. Say Cole.
Sure you can. Sure you can. So at any rate, but again, it's nice to get involved in that sort of stuff and be able to do that. It lends a sense of credibility when you're doing this sort of stuff. My awards and my recognition, this talks about you guys. So if it's important to you to know where you stand with Coldwell Banker's award system, are you in the Sterling Club? Are you in the Platinum Club? Are you in the Golden Eagle or whatever the heck it happens to be? You can track that and it'll tell you you've closed 6 deals and X amount of $1 million, and right now you are in the Sterling Club. That's important to you, it tracks that, okay? Advertising, promotions, e-marketing, I'm going to spend a little time on the e-marketing. Okay, I personally have, oh by the way, Coldwell Banker has Coldwell Banker websites, which are basically free to you guys. If you do not have a personal website, and you want to get a website, it is not the super whistle and bell website, but it is a nice professional looking website that you can get through coldwellbanker.com, and this tells you how to use it. Okay? Under e-marketing, you can send electronic postcards and newsletters through CBWORKS. Okay? Now, I personally have a huge problem with this. And the huge problem I have with it is you have to do the marketing through CBWORKS. And we used these examples earlier. Here's our spring forward, fall back, you know, e-postcard, electronic email postcard. If you wanted to send these, which they are free by the way, you could go in here, create your card, customize it. The problem I have with it is then, in order to send it, you have to upload your contacts into this system, click send, and then it sends it out. I have been screaming at Coldwell Banker for as long as I can remember. If I think that this is a cool e-card, they've got a lot more than these. But if I think that this is okay, here's a nice, matter of fact, I got one of these. I just got one of these e-cards a couple days ago, and it's the door and the ribbon opens up and a little thing pops out and it has music playing in the background. Seasoned greetings from, you know, from Lance, okay? But I want them to give me the code so that I can rip that email greeting card off of their site, and I want to send it through my own contact management system. That you cannot do, okay? But if you have a small database, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, if you have a database of a few hundred people or a few thousand people, you can download those people into the system and send it. They also have newsletters in here. I don't know where the newsletters are. Let's see if we can find them real quick. Let's go back here and see what we find. I think this might have been, yeah, this is just where I at. Oh, this is e-cards, here we go. E-newsletters are here. So let's just take a look at what they've got. Again, same type of concept, and again, same problem in my view, is they do not allow me to rip out the content and allow me to send it through my own email program. You have to do it here, but you know, you pick your banner and you know, choose your format, and then you customize. I think I probably have to choose one. I probably have to go
down to next or something.
Yeah, choose my layout. And anyway, I'm not going to go through this, but you get the idea. It's not that hard. There's agent. Then you come down here, you pick the one, you continue, and then you can come in here and put some text in, and anyway, you can do all the rest of this sort of stuff. Okay, this is not a class on how to do it, but it's there. And I will tell you, as much as I complain about the fact that we cannot download this stuff and send it in our own email database, it's better than nothing, and it's free. Okay, you can send this as much as you want. Okay, also under promote, this is the personal website stuff we talked about. They got some things about the Gen Blue in New Orleans, so they're, I don't know why that says July. Coldwell Banker Connect New Orleans, July 2011. Oops.
Click on it. What is this?
Yeah, let's see. Probably should send someone an email to fix that. I'm assuming it's going to take us to the 2012 site.
Coldwell Banker Connect, that's different, that's not Gem Blue.
Oh, correct. Different. You guys wouldn't see this. This is a broker manager thing. But you're right, it's not Gem Blue. Okay, manage thy business. You guys know you can send out surveys from Coldwell Banker every time you sell a property. You can go into the customer satisfaction survey and basically survey your clients. If you don't do it, we do it for you. You can do it yourself. You can create your own little survey. Did I do a good job?
You guys do that?
Hmm? And then we get started. I have to talk to Shelley to see what the results are. We have to have certain information. We have to have your client's information and your email. So, having said that, if you're looking at me like we've never looked at that, we've never seen it, I need to go talk to Shelley to make sure that we're doing that. They would say that you're a great guy because you get those Facebook posts all the time.
No, but
They're-
I don't think they get that. My
They don't
clients
get that.
Then we're failing as a management team because we not only can we can even do it retroactively. We could go back now and say you did a transaction with this office in 2011. How did we do?
Yeah, because you guys don't have our clients' email addresses. It's
Well,
not
if it's
file.
well,
Yeah, they do.
if we should.
It's in the file.
Yeah, we should. It
Statement
should.
of information.
All of that stuff should go. We talk about our Lucero program all the time. We talk about sales reports, and everybody's sales report. I don't want to do all that sort of stuff. But that's one of the reasons we need to get that. At any rate, if I'm not doing that, I need to do that. Lead router, we've already talked about this. A lot of this manage my business. But is there a manage my business on the agent side?
Yes.
Okay, then it's going to talk about some different type of stuff. Okay, everything that you see here is more geared towards a broker manager sort of stuff. We talked about business and marketing plans though. We just did a whole 2 hours, 2.5 hours on marketing plans last night. Okay, well here's part of the presentation that I used last night when we did that class. You know, here's the electronic version of the personal action plan. It's a Word document. It's got the personal action plan. You can go in and you can edit, you can type it, and you can use it all yourself. Okay, recruit and retrain. This is again recruiting tools. I'm not going to get into that. The Learn, everything under the Learn tab. This is all your Coldwell Banker University stuff. Okay, most of the stuff that's in there. Well, I'll just go here once. Most of the stuff that's available on Coldwell Banker University is free. Okay, some of it costs money. Did it take a minute? Some of it is not free, but the vast majority of it is free. Take advantage of it. If you're not taking advantage of it, you should. Okay, this is where that link apparently is dead. But this will get you to the registration site for Coldwell Banker University. Supposed to take me to the Coldwell. Actually, I think it's on the front page too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting. We've got a couple of. I don't know if it's just my computer or we've got a couple dead links. I think it's going to show up somewhere here. Does the regular page look like this for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Coldwell Banker University, right in the middle. Bam. Okay. And this looks better. Okay. No, this doesn't look better. Where do I want to go? Take me to the registration site. Well, that's not it either.
There, continue. Click continue right there. Well,
Where? Here?
yeah.
What I'm looking. Here we go. Okay. Should do this class a couple more times a year. Here's all the classes. Boost, free, or very cheap. eFast Start, free or very cheap. And when I say very cheap, if they're charging you anything, they're charging you for materials. They're going to send you a book. You've got to spend $25 and they'll send you a book that you can read and study and all the rest of that sort of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Okay? I've already paid for it. Technically, you guys have already paid for it. You're paying 8%. 6% franchise fee. Here it is. A certain percentage of the 6% goes here. The other 2% is national advertising fee. That's all this other garbage. The website, the television commercials, all the rest of that. You're paying for it. You might as well use it. And there's just tons and tons of stuff in here. So this is it's right now pushing on 5, so we're about an hour and a half deep into the class. So this is the deal. This is my experience with Coldwell Banker Works. Brand new agents get excited about this. They spend a little bit of time on it. They maybe download a PowerPoint or two, and then they never go back. Okay? This is the type of thing that on your contact management system, and I don't have it, so I'm gonna practice as I preach. On my contact management system, we all, just like we talked about earlier, you should have something in your contact management system that tells you that every month, every quarter, certainly no less than twice a year, I would say no less than every 3 months minimum, that, what did we say? Go check your website, go check ColdwellBanker.com's website for your profile, test it, contact yourself, pretend that you're a consumer wanting to get a hold of you, and test it, and make sure that that email that's supposed to go to you goes to you and doesn't end up in the ethos or get misrouted through lead router or do something terrible like that, which would be an absolute shame. So what I'm going to do is two things. I'm going to put on my contact. I'm going to try to put on my contact. My computer is failing me miserably. Anyway, I'm going to put two things on my contact. I'm going to put one thing that says every 3 months I'm going to get a reminder that says check all my websites to make sure that my leads are coming to me. And then I'm going to put another thing that says, you know what, every 60 days minimum. Now if you're in here every day, great. I don't really see anybody who's going to be in here every day. Okay? But every 60 days, take a half hour and go through Coldwell Banker Works. Download the latest PowerPoint presentation. Okay, I have a seller PowerPoint presentation which I love. It's 7 years old. Okay, I may love it, but guess what? There's some new statistics on there. So if I pull up a statistic that says the National Association of Realtors says that 60% of buyers start their search on a website. Source, National Association of Realtors, 2004. Oops, that's a problem. Well, download the new PowerPoint that has the same exact information that says 92% of buyers start their property search on the internet. What's the source? National Association of Realtors, 2011. Okay, you got to keep that stuff updated. So there's just tons of stuff in here. So I consider this the elephant. If you try to eat the elephant all at once, you ain't gonna do it. Come in, just take little bites. Come in periodically. Take a look at some stuff. Say, hey, you know what? This piece here on what was that one thing? This public relations. You know what? Lance mentioned some stuff about press releases. Make a note. Put it in your contact management system. You know what? Second week of January, I'm going to go into Coldwell Banker Works. I'm going to check out the press releases. Okay? Shelley mentioned something in this sales meeting about Coldwell Banker University. Go into your contact management system. Make a note. You know what? On February 12th, I'm going to go into Coldwell Banker University or Coldwell Banker Works, and I'm going to check out Coldwell Banker University. Okay? Or, you've never taken a listing presentation in your life, or never been on a listing presentation in your life. Don't wait until you get the listing appointment to download the listing presentation. Get the darn listing presentation. Download it now. Modify it. Tweak it. Nothing drives me more crazy, because it happens all the time, especially with not just new agents, but especially new agents. They come to me in a panic. Lance, I need help on a CMA, on a listing presentation. I'd like to get the PowerPoint from Coldwell Banker, blah, 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 blah. I have an appointment. When? In an hour and a half. How long have you worked in this office? Oh, I've been here 6 months. Do I want to help that person? I really don't. There should be something else up here. Recruit, retain, and terminate. What I want to do is I want to terminate that agent. Are you kidding me? You've been here for 6 months. You finally got your very first listing presentation an hour and a half before that. And I don't make this stuff up, guys. That's real. An hour and a half before your presentation, you come to me for help because I'm your broker. Man, because that's what brokers do, right? We're supposed to help you. Well, that's short sales. There's some stuff in here on short sales. We are going to do a whole class on short sales. Agent comes to me and says, Lance, I need help on a short sale presentation. When is it? Tonight. At 5. Okay, what do you got? I got nothing. Have you seen our video on short sale presentations? That's 6 hours long. No. Okay, you want me to teach you how to do a short sale, and you have a presentation in 2 hours, and you are completely unprepared. Terminate. You're not a professional. You're wasting my time. You're wasting your own time, especially if you've been in the business for 6 months in a short sale driven market. You finally knocked on someone's door, you got the short sale appointment, and after 6 months of having no business, you're not prepared at least to do the basics. So, and a ton of information in here. Anybody got any questions on this? All right, then we are out. So, 2 in a row, Stephen. Wow.
What's up with this?
There we are. There's our Realty Center office. I now want to find an agent. So let's click the office first. That'll take us to the office profile. I now want to find agents in that office. And Diane and John Speaker are the first agent that's going to populate as soon as our web page refreshes. There will be a picture of Diane and John because I've seen it before. And I'm going to assume that that is the same picture that shows up on Coldwell Banker, on CBWORKS. So if you don't have a picture that shows up on coldwellbanker.com and you don't have one here, we have a problem, okay? So make sure you get that uploaded. This, I believe, will give, this is the office, so this is telling me that the office has 244 active listings. As an individual user, is it giving you guys this info? How many listings you have?
No.
It doesn't? Okay.
Well,
No?
Well, we personally have it personally.
But if you're on your personal site. No, it doesn't give you the office site, but does it say Stephen has 2 listings or something like that? Okay. Now again, this is important as well because where this information pulls from is coldwellbanker.com. So if you have 10 listings and this says you have 2 listings, what that's telling you is that there is a disconnect between coldwellbanker.com and the MLS. Which is probably means there's a disconnect between, and this is only listings, by the way. This isn't going to show up if you're mostly a buyer's agent and you're working on buyer's open escrows. That's not going to show up over here. Okay. But again, if you have a lot of listings and they're not here, then you need to immediately come to the sales manager and say, hey, something's wrong. My listing, and you should do that, by the way. If we go back to coldwellbanker.com, for example, and I'm looking at, for some reason, I don't have a full list of the agents in Redlands. Let's see if I can get this to refresh. But if I'm John and Diane Speaker, and they know that they have 10 listings, and they go to coldwellbanker.com, and they're searching their listings, and there's only 3, there is a problem. Okay, and you guys need to test this stuff periodically. You need to, what's going on. Okay. Most of these news and announcements should be sent to you guys in the form of an email on a fairly regular basis. So if you saw something on the new and improved lead router or the lead reporting, there will be a thing there. If you want to the iPad recruiting presentation, you can keep in mind, I'm logged in as a sales manager, there is a recruiting presentation that they said that's set up for the iPad. So, oh, I thought I saw an email on that come through last week. Here it is. Videos, navigate CBWORKS with ease. So anyway, so we've got, that's kind of where your news and presentation. Events is your convention. There's going to be some stuff in here about Gen Blue. Okay. Now again, we're getting emails on this all the time, but if you forgot or you needed to get a room, all the events are on here. And right now, the only thing we've got pending is Gen Blue. My account, this again should be, I believe. I apologize. I should know this. You should be able to access your account as well. Okay, and access your specific stuff. And we're at the mercy of our internet connection, so hopefully this will speed up a tad. username, I want to change my password, that sort of type stuff. What else have we got down here? My contact email. How do you want to be contacted by Coldwell Banker Corporate? I want to be contacted at mylance@pioneerrealestate.com. I see a down arrow. I have a feeling, yes. If you don't know what your coldwellbanker.com email address is, well, there it is. Everybody has them. From a broker owner standpoint, I would love, and this is not a Coldwell Banker Works thing, this is just a business thing, I would love everybody to use firstname.lastname@coldwellbanker.com. Okay? I'd love it for a bunch of reasons. Number one, it cements you more to Coldwell Banker than you otherwise would be cemented. If you've been working at Coldwell, go in, put yourself a marker on your calendar once a month, or at least 2, 3, 4 times a year, because what you think is working today, somehow this connection breaks, and then all of a sudden, 6 months go by, you don't even realize that your stuff isn't showing up right. Okay, this is telling me who my business consultant is. It's got some lead router stuff over here. Does it give you guys lead router on the individual agents? Does it tell you if you have lead router information on here? Okay, I probably should log in as one of you guys. Maybe we'll do that before we exit out to see what sort of similarities we have, because again, this is the broker manager site. Now, it also will give you some links down here. If you create a bunch of quick links that are important to you, okay? If you're in here a lot, and this is the problem with Coldwell Banker Works. Normally what will happen is you're a brand new agent to the company, you spend some time on here, and by the way, we're only going to spend an hour and a half in this class. You could spend, I think you literally could probably spend 3 days, 8 hours a day, going through here, clicking, pecking, downloading, loading all sorts of stuff. There's that much content here. There's a lot of stuff in here, okay? But if there's stuff that specifically you like, that you go to on a regular basis, maybe it's listing presentation or e-marketing or some sort of newsletter thing that you subscribe to, you can save your own little special links. Or if you're a big fan of the CBU site, you can have your link here, although there's 17 different ways to get to there, which is the case in all of these websites. There's literally at least 3, 4, 5 different ways to get to the same spot. So if you're used to seeing it and going in a different place, that's fine. So you've got your quick links, you've got actually my favorites, that's where you can put your stuff. And then your recently viewed or places that you've been. And I haven't done this class in a while, so I don't have any recently views, which really surprises me because I am in here enough that I would think there'd be something in there. Okay, so we're going to make this really simple. The news and announcements, that's just kind of what's the scroll page. I'm just going to quickly buzz through this. This is going to give you okay. Alright, so, and again, so you guys, if you've taken the class on CBWORKS before, some of this is going to be, very repetitive, but I'm going to pretend like we've never been in CBWORKS ever. So we're gonna go through it from A to Z and hit the highlights. We will be done in an hour and a half, so if you've got to leave early, don't worry about it. It won't bother me. We're videoing as always. So if you're a brand new user, for the most of you, your username is going to be your email address. Okay. If you're brand new to Coldwell Banker, you will get a john.smith@coldwellbanker.com email address. That is normally the username that they assign you. If you don't want to be john.smith@coldwellbanker.com and you want to keep your John Smith at johnsmith.com, then you can change your username, but you've got to go into your profile, and that's not what we're going to talk about here today, but you can have your username whatever you want. When I originally set myself up 9 years ago, I chose to keep my lance@pioneerrealestate.com email, that's why my user is, but the default will be firstname.lastname@coldwellbanker.com. Okay? You'll get an automatic password assigned to you. I don't know if this one is right, so I'm going to change it. But invariably, for brand new users, they don't know what their password is. I have found, just like any other website, I forgot my login information, you click the button, it sends you an email, you go through it, it's a little bit of a pain, but if you follow the instructions, it'll reset your password for you. So Once you've got it in right the first time, it should memorize it for you if you have your Windows settings properly. And with any luck, we're going to begin. So we're completely dependent upon our internet connection, you know, so if our internet goes down, we can't do the class. Just as if you're at home, if your internet goes down, you can't do the class. So, or you can't get on Coldwell Banker Works. It's pretty much 100% web-based. Now, this is going to look a little different than maybe what you guys have seen, okay? I am logged in at the broker manager level. So, for example, you will not have a, I don't believe, well, you probably have a manage, but you won't have a recruit and retain, okay? We talked about that in the business planning class yesterday. One of my things is to recruit and retain. In theory, as an individual agent, you're not recruiting and retaining, so there's going to be a little bit of difference in what you're looking at. But generally, it should, more or less, the information should be the same. So it's going to give you, you know, should have your company name on here. If you're not at Coldwell Banker Pioneer Real Estate, you're a Town and Country or Realty Center, it should say Town and Country or Realty Center. So if you're working in one of those offices and it doesn't say that, you need to let us know. All of the offices are separated with the different DBAs. We're going to look at the Get Listing tab, we're going to look at the Sell Listings, the Promote, Manage My Business, Learn is the CBU. We're going to go through all of that. You should have your name here. If you're logged in as you, it should say who you are. I believe it will give you a picture of the office, or does it give you a picture of you?
You.
Okay. Of you individually? Okay. Your picture should be here. If you don't have your picture here, that means you probably also have a problem on your coldwellbanker.com profile. Okay? And even though we're not doing a class on coldwellbanker.com, let's go here real quick because these things do kind of tie in a little bit. Okay, this is the consumer side. So I'm now John Q. Consumer. Redlands just so happens to be up, so let's just go to, let's look for offices in the city of Redlands. Let's search. It should give us Coldwell Banker Realty Center. And, oops, I'm searching properties. Apologize. Let's go back, search offices in city of Redlands. Search. It should give us